walk in the dust off. Is that what you do? Is that all you're made of? Whatever ain't right, prove it on yourself. Revisit your act, return to unreal. Living on a guideline, then there, down, down, cold up and dead. Instead of being bitter, back up, go grab your keys. Follow the stunt driver who hit the tip top of an adventure. Ready to relish every day, desire, good fire, lighting up the way. Let go what holds us back. Take over, then dip it together, breaking the barrier. Once it's better, 'cause we can tick-tock, show them this is our own track. Look out, we won't get caught up.
Okay, so this is Persona 5 The Phantom X. This is a Persona gacha game, which is a really weird combination in my opinion. Like, I would not have thought that they would have done this, but this video is just gonna be me yapping about the game, talking about what I like, what I don't like, and I'll show off some gameplay, I guess, because I have to do my daily things because yeah, I have really been enjoying this game. So yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit more as I get into it. I'm only about 8 hours in. Have not finished the first palace or the first major objective. I have not finished yet. So I haven't done that much because this game just made me want to replay Persona 5. So, it's sadly that's like just how it is. So this is Persona 5. Now you notice all these icons on my thing. You just kind of have to ignore a lot of them because they stay for no reason. Like, so like an example is these two don't go away unless you upgrade, you know, your characters, but sometimes you can't do that, so it's just pretty bad. It's not like Genshin where you can just click into it and it'll go away, right? Ooh, level up. So if you know nothing about Persona, it's a turn-based RPG where you use the powers of personas to deal damage. It's a bunch of elemental stuff, so there's elemental weaknesses and everything and all that. I can talk more about that when I actually do combat, but this is P5X. So this is pretty much Persona 5 but different and a gacha game. It's very similar to P5. Like, you would not you would think that this is P5 if you ever looked at it, right? Which kind of sucks because I think I would have preferred it to be a little more unique, but I think they did it to save on resources, which I think is fun because, you know, this is an intermission game between P5 and P6, right? And yeah, so of course it's a gacha game, so it's got all the gacha elements. You know, there are all these events going on. Right now it's the very beginning, so it's Joker and everything from P5, so that's happening. And then obviously there's pulling, of course. This is standard banner with the gold ones, and this is limited banner with these iridescent ones, and then there's a weapon banner too. So yeah, it's pretty normal. It's gacha stuff. You have your complete menu here, you know, everything you want. It's your phone. Yeah, obviously your profile and everything. So yeah, that's basically it. In Persona, you set up a party, right? So you use X amount of characters, and in this case you also have a supporting character. So you have a character that provides buffs from off field. That's this character right here. I got most of these from gambling. Actually, what is this? It's supposed to be like this. I don't know why the party doesn't like to save, but whatever. You have to have your character, like the main character has to be in the party, and then the other three characters are whoever you can get from pulls or from the main story. So yeah, it's pretty normal. normal Persona stuff and everything like that. Oh, you can take pictures? I did not know this. So you have obviously your menu. Velvet Room is where you do Persona things. If you play Persona, you know what the hell the Velvet Room is, right? This is how you do Persona things. You fuse them, you train them, like you level them and everything. Your Thief menu is where you train your individual characters. You cannot train your main character through leveling. This is not like Genshin. You can't spend the XP book equivalent on your main character in this game. It kind of sucks, but I also kind of like it because it limits your characters and your persona's levels to your main characters, depending on how many main characters, what your main character's level is. So like you can't so you can't level your main character with books, but you can do everything else. You can level your weapon, you can obviously do your personas and everything. So you can level every other character though. Every other character you go training, you level them here, right? It's very, very good. It's the same there. It's just a Persona system, right? You don't level your characters normal Persona. You don't do it in this game. So this is just like the main hub. This is the Shibuya. There's a Central Street over there. So this is just where the main hub is. Every time you leave the metaverse, you respawn right here. So that's just why I'm here, right? There's obviously a bunch of stuff you can do if you really want to. So like you can go to, you have a house you can go to different places. This guy's the weapon gambling man, and then you can go shopping in all the places. If you played P5, you'll be completely familiar with this area. It is the same area. Say this is the Shibuya Underground or the metaverse, or where the Mementos is. This is the statue of the dog. Central Street's across this way, right? It's just P5's world, but a little bit different. You can go to Yongen-Jaya, which is where you live in this is where you live right here in P5. So you can literally just go to LeBlanc where you live in P5. So it's in the exact same world, which I think is cool. I thought it was really cool to get over here and be able to explore. So yeah, I think that's awesome. Obviously this is your main character. He has a canon name, but you can also give him your name like I did here. This is a random last name I chose. And that there is one big problem I kind of have with this game. I can't zoom out. One problem I kind of have with this game is I haven't found out how to change the language to English, because everybody speaks in Japanese, which isn't a problem, right? I don't care, but I play the Persona games in English, so not being able to change the language to English kind of sucks. So you have to deal with Japanese, but that just makes you focus on the game more, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and you know, of course, and then I believe this is your battle. No, this isn't your battle. What's your battle pass? Goals. Here we go. This is your battle pass. Yeah, just like a normal battle pass. So everything. Your Thieves Den is like this other area where you can show off things and spend coins and all that type of thing. Spend this special currency on just like customization things for this area. It's not really like a useful place. I don't come here very often, but it is the thing you can do. And so obviously this is a Persona game, so there is an overarching story. The story's been pretty interesting so far, except for the main bad guy right now, this Koichi fellow. He is kind of not interesting, and yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it though, because obviously, but I'm playing this on you know, keyboard and mouse. I typically play Persona with controller, but I figured I'd want to, you know, separate this from a normal Persona game, and I now play gacha games with my keyboard and mouse, so I'm just playing this with keyboard and mouse. It's not bad. Yeah. Oh, this is annoying. So you obviously have, this is the metaverse, right? If you know Persona 5, this is the stamina system. Just like in every other gacha game in existence, you have, it's literally just called stamina though, which is funny. So you have your stamina, you get 240 of it, you spend it on pulls, or not pulls, but you spend it on farming stuff, right? So this is the material training, you have the alluring aromas are the special level up materials. So think of this as the ascension materials for characters. Everybody only needs this kind, I'm pretty sure so far. So this is weapon ascension materials, I think. This is skill level up stuff, and it says it down here, right? Thief leveling, weapon enhancement, persona leveling, and then these are just your Mora equivalent, right? This is just your Mora equivalent. And then the persona farming, this is where it gets a little interesting. You have, in order to ascend your personas, you have to have seals of the same persona. So you're going to spend your resin on the seals so you can craft new personas or ascend your existing personas, right? So like if I go let's see, I think if I go to my, here we go. So if we go here, you can see that man, I don't know how to level these. I know where I gotta go. Hold on. Intermission. You go here. This is where you're leveling personas, right? So if I want to enhance this, its max level is reached, so I can't. But if I want to enhance this, I need a seal or a regent, which is a special persona that you can't use in battles, but you can, you know, use. They're very rare. So you get these seals from, you know, doing the farming, right? And all that. And then, but if you also want to, God, it's so loud. If you want to do persona fusion, you also need the seals, right? So you need, if I wanted to make this persona, I would need a Jack Frost seal and a Succubus seal. I can farm those with resin, right? So it's a pretty interesting system. You also get personas from gambling, which is really weird to me. I don't know why, because you also like the gambling system, in my opinion, is weird, right? Because you can get personas, characters, and weapons from gambling, but I think you can only get weapons on Weapon Banner, which is really weird because, you know, I think you should have a chance to get low ranking weapons everywhere else, but whatever. So when you do when you first start the game, you have, you know, like if you start Genshin Impact, and I'm using Genshin Impact as an example because if you look at the channel, I kind of play that game all the fucking time. If you start Genshin Impact, you have the special Noel banner, right, where you do a 10 pull for only 8 wishes, and then you can only do a certain number of them. Same thing in this. You can do, if you do 5 10 pulls with them only costing 8 gold tickets, then you are guaranteed to get a 5-star. But I think you're guaranteed to get a 5-star. But you can also, once you reach that amount, there's a special reward section on that banner too, where you can choose a standard 5-star. And I believe these are all of them. And I chose Panther, and I just got Rin in a single 10 pull when I was gambling on this. I've been gambling on this banner, so you know I got Yaoling Li, so I have her. That 5-star I have. I've just been gambling on this banner because I want Joker. Yeah. So it's a gacha game. There is an overall world chat, which is very funny. You can join just a global chat with people, which is very funny. But yeah, okay. And then you have your city, which I don't want to do right now because I don't want to change the time it is. Oh, it's Bluefell. He's a character. I don't want to change what time it is. Yeah, you want to advance the time to after schooling. I don't want to escape the mission, right? But you can do your city activities. So if you play Persona, you can go work a part-time job. You can go spend time with characters. I think probably that makes sense. I don't know. I haven't done that yet. You can go work a part-time job. You can go see a movie, eat food, you know, study, do things like that, right? That's what this is. And you get 5 of these a day. This is the max is 20. And yeah. Okay, we're going to go into the metaverse, and I'm going to yap about combat. So I'm just going to do my daily things. I believe I want to farm some of this. I don't know if you can craft these, actually. That's a good question. Can I? What? I tried to do a keybind somewhere else. Can I craft those? Like, you know, if I craft, convert materials. Yeah, you can. Okay. You can. I don't have any, but yes, so we're going to do that. I don't know. I just like to, I'm just going to do that because I need things. So, alluring aroma. Do this one. That looks good. Yes. What does my party look like? There we go. Perfect. All right. So Persona combat is it's turn-based, right? So imagine Honkai Star Rail pretty much in how the combat works. Oh my god, it's so loud. It's so loud for me. So in order to you have every enemy is weak to a certain thing, right? Some are weak to melee attacks, some are weak to certain elements and all that. And yeah, so every character has personas except the main character has multiple because he's the main character. So you just want to use an attack on the enemy, right? And then you just kind of do this. See, so the red guy is weak to ice. So I'm going to use an ice attack on him. And now he's knocked down. So I get to go again. And I'm going to do the same thing again. There we go. Sadly, this game's combat is a little worse than P5's for one simple thing. If you do a weakness attack on somebody, like I just did with that guy, and then you pass the baton, you didn't pass your turn to the main character, you don't get to choose what persona you change to, because the main character can swap between these personas, right? You can have two equipped and you can swap between them. But if you do a baton pass and pass your turn to the main character, you can't choose, and it's so bad. I also have the wrong loadout for some reason. We're just gonna do this, and then we do this. Oh, he missed. And then he heals, so we're just gonna whack him. Every character has a melee attack, of course, because melee. And yeah. So every character also comes with an ultimate. If you click on the approach it when it's glowing gold like this, and you have your highlight attack, that is basically your ultimate. You do X thing because of whatever persona they have. So your main character can have multiple because these different personas, but every other character has whatever they want. So I'm gonna do Panthers because these two are weak, so I'll get to go again. So we're just gonna do this, and it's like a cool ultimate attack, right? So you get that back every now and then. Just as you do the combat, it's right there. You saw it a little bit. And then with this guy, I'm going to do smash hit because it lowers his defense and it's a physical attack. And then here we're going to do probably just gun damage to everybody, just to get some damage everywhere. And then now we'll do fire damage to all foes. Boom. And then we win. And that's just the basics of combat. The game teaches you this, and what I really like is that you can use a bunch of resin here. So I just typically max it out and do as much as I can, and then I go back and do it again. I skip this. This is just, like the tree thing. Yeah. I don't really want to use the rest of it, so I think we're gonna be done with that. But that's combat. Combat is very simple. You learn a lot better. Like you will learn as you play. It is very easy to learn how to do the combat, right? It's not complicated. It might be complicated in the beginning, but stick with it and you learn. Like if you played a normal Persona game, like I'm replaying P5 right now, right? I can start recognizing just by what enemy it is, what they're weak to, right? You just kind of learn as you play, and you set up your party with whatever. I like to have as many elemental variations as I can because I just like to be able to knock everything down whenever I can. I didn't show, actually there is something I could show, but I'll do that I could do that, but I think that I'll say that, leave that for a surprise. You know, if you ever decide to play this game, I would say stick with this game. It might be a little boring in the beginning, especially if you're not used to Persona formula, but because this game is free, if you've ever been interested in trying a Persona game, I highly recommend this one, because it's very similar to Persona 5, the most recent one. Like, if you just ignore the gacha elements, you're just playing a Persona game, right? So I think if you've ever been interested in trying a Persona game, this is actually a very good entry point, considering it is free. So yeah, and then if you grow to love this game, play P5, because P5 is the closest to this. And then if you end up loving that, you can play P3 and P4 and whatever else, right? I think that that's actually an amazing way to utilize this game if you've ever been interested in Persona itself. So yeah, I really like this game. This game is really good, although I haven't been playing it because I've been replaying Persona 5, because I just prefer Persona 5's story to this game's so far. I think it's better, and this game is extremely similar. So yeah, that's about it. I don't think there's really anything else to talk to. I don't want to spoil like everything. If you check this game out, I hope you have fun with it. I really like this game, so obviously I hope you have fun with it. Yeah, you can actually explore more than you can in P5. You can't go all the way over here in P5, which is very funny. You can only go up to this point. You can inspect this area, and it looks different in P5 too. So also, this is a lottery. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it. This was just kind of a showing off like new gacha game that I think is actually good. I have no clue like how good as a gacha game it is, right? I don't know like if it's up to, you know, if it's a good gacha game. I don't know if how generous they are or whatever, right? I don't know if it's got a bad rap yet or anything, but I like it as a Persona game. So I think if you've ever been interested in Persona, like I said, try the game out. It's free. It's on Steam if you have that. It's on mobile, I think. So yeah, and just, you know, stick with it if you want to. Anyway, I think that's it. I just kind of wanted to yap about a game that I like. Also, the music in Persona games is unmatched. I use it a lot. I especially use P3's music. Persona 3's music is so good. But yeah, yeah. The only thing that happened in Genshin that I could have made a video on was the theater updated, but I didn't want to do theater, so I decided to do this instead. So yeah, I will see you the Friday weekly recap Genshin Impact shit. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you played this game. Also, I should mention this. I'm not sponsored in any way. This is me. I like this game. So yeah. Anyway, I will see you freaking whenever I see you. Goodbye.